They threw her
You
out
dare
into the
defy
February
me?
snow
I have every
because she
right
was
to be
broken.
here.
Not in my
Within
domain.
hours, the Vampire King discovered Maya Winters possessed something only 1 in 10,000 people carried. 30 days from that moment, she would bring him to his knees. This is how the girl called worthless became irreplaceable. The grandfather clock struck 6 in the morning. Each chime fell like a judge's gavel through the Winters estate, condemning another hour of Maya's existence in a house that had never been home. She knelt on the kitchen floor. Cold marble bit through her worn dress, her fingers raw and cracked from lye soap scrubbed at a stain that had been there longer than her 28 years. The stain would outlast her too. Everything in this house would. Above her head, floorboards creaked. Vivian's bedroom. Maya didn't need to look up to know her stepsister was awake, already planning the day's cruelties like some women plan garden parties. Still scrubbing Little Mouse, Maya's spine stiffened. She didn't turn, didn't give Vivian the satisfaction. Footsteps descended the grand staircase. Each click of expensive heels a countdown. 5 years since father died. 5 years of this. Vivian appeared in the kitchen doorway like a portrait of elegance wrapped around something rotten. 32 years old, hair the color of autumn copper, emerald dress that cost more than Maya had seen in a year. Beautiful if you didn't look too close. If you couldn't see the shadow. Maya saw it, had always seen it. A darkness that clung to Vivian like smoke writhing just beneath her skin. She'd learned not to mention it. The last time she did, she'd spent 3 days locked in the cellar. Good morning, Vivian. Is it? Vivian crossed to the breakfast table, trailing perfume that cost a fortune and smelled like funeral flowers. I wake to find my home still infested. Maya squeezed the scrub brush, kept her voice steady. Father left me. Father left you nothing. Vivian settled into the head chair, their father's chair. He left me his estate, his fortune, his name. You were charity, and my charity has run out. The words should have hurt, once they would have. But Maya had spent 5 years building calluses around her heart. She stood knees protesting and carried her bucket to the sink. I work for my keep. You work poorly. Vivian's laugh was crystal shattering on marble. 28 years old, Maya. No magic, no prospects, no purpose. Most women your age have families, homes, something. You have, what, an ability to make floors slightly less dirty. Maya's hands gripped the sink edge. Through the window, dawn broke over the estate gardens. She used to play there as a child, before mother died, before father remarried, before 3 sisters were buried in graves she couldn't afford to visit. I had sisters once. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Had. Vivian savored the word like wine. Past tense. They died of fever 10 years ago, Maya. Perhaps you should join them. It would solve my breakfast dilemma. What dilemma? Whether to keep feeding a mouth that gives nothing back. The kitchen door opened. Thomas Ashworth entered, Vivian's father, Maya's stepfather, in name only. 60 years old, jowled and paunchy, wrapped in a smoking jacket that smelled of cigars and old money. He glanced at Maya the way one might glance at furniture. Registered her presence. Dismissed it. Is breakfast ready? Maya was just leaving, Vivian said sweetly. Weren't you, dear? Maya set down the bucket. I haven't eaten. Then eat somewhere else. Vivian produced a newspaper from beside her plate, unfolded it with deliberate slowness. I've found you employment. You should be grateful. Something cold slithered down Maya's spine. Employment. Read for yourself. Vivian slid the paper across the table. Maya's eyes found the circled advertisement, wanted castle cleaner. Room and board provided. Must be unafraid of darkness. Apply to Thorn Estate before nightfall. Her blood turned to ice water. No. Yes. Vivian's smile was a knife in silk. I took the liberty of submitting your name this morning. They're expecting you by evening. The Thorn Estate. Maya's voice cracked. That's the Vampire King's castle. People don't come back from there, Vivian. 12 cleaners hired this year alone. 12 disappearances. Then you'd better clean well. Thomas grunted agreement, already focused on his eggs. Maya's fingers curled into fists. You can't force me. Can't I? Vivian stood, moved closer. That shadow beneath her skin writhed faster now, excited. You have no money, no home but this one, no family but us, and we're done with you, Maya. So you have 2 choices: leave with some dignity, or I'll have you removed. The constable owes me favors. Then why were you right now? The question barely made sound. What did I do to make you hate me so much? For just a moment, something flickered in Vivian's perfect face. Not guilt, never that, but something. Then it was gone, buried beneath that smile. You exist, she said simply. That's quite enough. The town square at noon. That was Vivian's condition. I want everyone to see, she'd said, threading pearls through her copper hair. I want them to know the Winters family doesn't harbor dead weight. Maya stood in her room, the servants' quarters she'd been moved to 3 years ago, and stared at the dress laid out on her bed. Gray wool, patches at the elbows, the only garment she owned that wasn't a cleaning uniform. Through the thin walls, she heard Vivian laughing, preparing. Maya pulled on the dress. It hung loose. She'd lost weight these past months. Hard to keep flesh on bones when you ate scraps after everyone else finished. Her reflection in the cracked mirror showed a stranger. Thin face, hollow cheeks, brown hair pulled back in a braid that needed cutting. Eyes the color of storm clouds, the one thing Mother had given her that couldn't be taken away. She looked like a ghost. Perhaps that was fitting. The walk to town square took 30 minutes. February wind cut through her dress like it wasn't there. She had no coat. Vivian had sold it last month. Citizens of Ashwick lined the square. Word traveled fast in small towns, especially when Vivian Winters made announcements. Maya saw familiar faces. Mrs. Chen from the bakery, who used to slip her day-old bread. Richard the blacksmith, who taught her to shoe horses when she was 10. Father Benedict from the church where her mother was buried. They all looked away. Vivian stood on the courthouse steps, magnificent in emerald velvet. Thomas beside her playing the concerned father. A clerk waited with papers. Citizens of Ashwick, Vivian's voice carried like bells. Thank you for bearing witness today. It pains me to make this announcement, but transparency is the cornerstone of trust. Maya climbed the steps. Each one felt like walking to a gallows. My dear stepsister Maya Winters has been a ward of our family since her father's untimely death. We've provided for her, fed her, clothed her, given her purpose in our household. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Maya kept her chin up, wouldn't give them the satisfaction of seeing her break. But at 28 years old, with no magical aptitude, no marriage prospects, and no trade, Maya has become a burden. Vivian's hand found Maya's shoulder, squeezed. It is with a heavy heart that I announce her placement with Lord Caspian Thorne, who has graciously agreed to employ her as castle staff. The crowd's murmur turned to shocked whispers. The vampire's castle, someone called. She'll die there, another voice. Better than bleeding us dry here, a third voice muttered. Too many agreed. Yes, yeah, amending. The clerk stepped forward. Miss Winters, if you'll sign here, the contract transfers your employment to Lord Thorne, effective immediately. Maya stared at the paper, her name already filled in, Vivian's signature at the bottom. What if I refuse? The clerk's expression was almost pitying. Then you're trespassing on Winters' property. Vagrancy is a crime in Ashwick, miss. 30 days in jail. After that, he shrugged. The streets, I suppose. Jail or the vampire. Streets or shadow. Maya took the pen. Her hands shook. She hated that it shook, hated that everyone saw. Any last words? Vivian whispered in her ear, too quiet for others to hear. Any final pleading? Maya signed her name, set down the pen, turned to face her stepsister. I hope you sleep well tonight, she said clearly. I hope you sleep very well, because one day you'll wake up and realize what you've done, and it will be too late. Vivian's smile never wavered. Threatening me, dear sister. Warning you. Maya descended the steps. The crowd parted like she carried plague. I'm not what you think I am, Vivian. You never looked close enough to see. She walked. Behind her, someone threw something. It hit her shoulder. Wet, rotten, vegetable by the smell. Then another. Another. The crowd's fear turning to cruelty the way fear always did. Maya didn't run, didn't flinch. She walked through Ashwick's main street with garbage in her hair and her head held high. Let them see. Let them remember. The girl they threw away might not stay thrown. The road to Thorne Estate stretched 10 miles through forest that swallowed the light. Maya walked as the sun died, turning the world to shades of charcoal and silver. Her feet bled. The dress's hem was caked in mud. Cold had worked its way so deep into her bones, she'd stopped shivering. That was dangerous. She knew that. When you stopped feeling cold, the cold was winning. But she walked. What else was there? Trees closed in on both sides. Old growth, thick and gnarled branches twisted into shapes that looked almost like fingers. Almost like they were reaching. Snow drifted between the trunks, untouched, imperfect, hiding whatever lay beneath. Maya tried not to think about what lay beneath. She tried not to think about her sisters. Lily Rose and Violet, 12, 14, and 16 when the fever came. Maya had been 18 already, helping Mother tend them, watching them burn, watching them fade. Mother died a week later. Broken heart, the doctor said. Medical nonsense, Father said. Grief, Maya knew. Father remarried within the year. Brought Vivian and Thomas into the house like cuckoos into a nest. They'd been pushing Maya out ever since. Now she was finally gone. A wolf howled in the distance. Maya's step faltered. Another answered closer. She was unarmed, alone, easy prey. I survived, Vivian, she told the darkness. Her voice sounded small, but it was something. Wolves are nothing. The forest disagreed. Branches snapped behind her, too loud for wind, too purposeful for accident. Maya walked faster. Her breath came in clouds, heart hammering against ribs. More snapping. Closer now. On both sides. She ran. Stupid, maybe. Prey runs, predators chase. But standing still was surrender, and she was done surrendering. The road blurred beneath her feet. Trees whipped past. Her lungs burned. The dress snagged on branches tore, kept going. Behind her, the sounds multiplied, following, gaining. Then the trees broke. Maya stumbled into a clearing and stopped so fast she nearly fell. Before her rose Thorn Estate. It wasn't a house, it was a declaration of war against heaven itself. Black stone walls climbed toward clouds topped with towers that pierced the sky like accusing fingers. Gargoyles clung to every corner, faces frozen in eternal screams. Windows blazed with light, but it was wrong light, too red, too bright, like the building had swallowed the sun and was choking on it. The gate stood open, iron and silver scroll-worked into patterns that hurt to look at too long. Wolves or demons or something between, mouths open in silent howls. Maya's legs wouldn't move. Behind her, growling. Real growling, not imagination. She looked back. 6 pairs of eyes reflected moonlight from the tree line. Low to the ground. Patient. They knew she had nowhere to go. Forward was the vampire's castle. Back was teeth. Maya walked through the gate. The moment she crossed the threshold, the growling stopped. The eyes vanished. As if an invisible line had been drawn, and the wolves knew better than to cross it. The gate swung shut behind her. No wind moved it. No hand touched it. It simply closed lock, clicking into place with the finality of a coffin. Maya stood in the courtyard. Cobblestones stretched toward the main entrance, flanked by gardens that might have been beautiful once. Now they were wild things, roses growing over stone benches, vines strangling statues, everything fighting for space and light and life. The front door opened. A man emerged, tall, broad-shouldered, wrapped in black leather armor that looked like it had seen actual war. His face was all hard angles and old scars framed by dark hair shot through with silver. He looked at Maya the way a butcher looks at meat. "You're late," Maya's voice caught, cleared. "I walked." Obviously. He descended the steps. Each footfall echoed. "I'm Theron, captain of the guard. You're the latest cleaner." Maya Winters. "How long do you think you'll last, Maya Winters?" The question was so blunt, it shocked her into honesty. "I don't know." Good answer. Theron's expression might have been approval, might have been pity. Most of them lie, say they're not afraid. That lasts until they see the West Tower. He gestured toward the door. "Come on, Lord Caspian is waiting." Maya followed him inside. The entry hall stole her breath. Vaulted ceilings disappeared into shadow. Chandeliers hung like frozen waterfalls, crystals catching light and splitting it into rainbows. The floor was polished marble black, shot through with veins of silver smooth as glass. Tapestries covered the walls, battles, ceremonies, faces of people, long dead, staring out with eyes that seemed to follow movement. It was beautiful. It was terrifying. "This way." Theron led her through corridors that twisted like a maze. Left, right, upstairs, down halls. Maya tried to memorize the route. Failed. The castle was too big, too complex, deliberately confusing. She'd be lost in minutes without a guide. They passed other servants. A woman carrying linens who wouldn't meet Maya's eyes. A boy hauling firewood who crossed himself when he saw her. An old man sweeping who whispered what might have been a prayer. No one spoke to her. Finally, Theron stopped before a set of double doors. Carved wood dark as midnight, inlaid with silver symbols Maya didn't recognize. They looked old. Older than the kingdom, maybe. Older than kingdoms in general. "Rules," Theron said flatly. "Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't stare. Don't touch anything. And for your sake, don't run. He can smell fear." "What happens if I run?" "You confirm your prey." Theron's hand found the door handle. "Prey gets hunted." He pushed open the doors. The great hall beyond was a cathedral to darkness. Columns rose like petrified trees supporting a ceiling, painted with scenes of night stars and moons and things that swam between them. More tapestries hung here, but these were different, darker. They showed battles that had no human warriors, only creatures with too many teeth and not enough mercy. At the far end of the hall on a throne of black stone and iron sat the Vampire King, Caspian Thorn. Maya's first thought was that he couldn't be real. No one looked like that. No one had that kind of terrible beauty, that perfection carved from marble and nightmares. He was tall, even seated. Lean in the way predators are lean, all efficiency and coiled strength. Black hair fell past his shoulders, straight as rain, framing a face that could have been painted by artists who specialized in angels and demons and couldn't decide which he was. Sharp cheekbones, cruel mouth, eyes the color of fresh blood, burning with an intelligence that had watched empires rise and crumble. He wore black, silk shirt open at the throat, revealing skin so pale it seemed to glow. No crown, he didn't need one. Everything about him screamed royalty, power, danger. He looked at Maya and she forgot how to breathe. This is her. His voice was winter itself, beautiful and deadly. Yes, my lord. Theron bowed, actually bowed. Maya Winters, the new cleaner. Leave us. Theron left. The doors closed with a sound like judgment. Maya stood alone before the Vampire King, feeling smaller than she'd ever felt in Vivian's house. At least there she'd been nothing. Here she was, less than nothing, immortal in a predator's domain. Prey. Caspian rose, moved down the dais steps with a grace that seemed to defy gravity. Each step brought him closer, and Maya's instincts screamed to run, run, run. She held her ground. He stopped 3 feet away, close enough to touch, close enough to kill. You're Maya Winters. Not a question. Yes. They tell me you're worthless. The words hit harder coming from him. From Vivian, they'd been insults. From this creature, they felt like facts being cataloged. They tell me many things, Maya said quietly. Are they true? That depends on what you consider useful. Something flickered in those red eyes. Surprise, maybe. Interest. You have no magic. No, Tom. No combat training. No. No skills to speak of. No family, no prospects, no value. He circled her slowly. Maya felt his gaze like a physical touch. Your own stepsister threw you away like garbage. Why should I keep you? Maya's jaw clenched. I can clean. I have servants who can clean. Then I can learn something else. I have servants who already know. Then her voice cracked, steadied. Then I have nothing to offer, but I'm here and I have nowhere else to go, so I'll work until I drop or you kill me, whichever comes first. At least it'll be warmer than the streets. Silence. Caspian had completed his circle, standing before her again. Those eyes searched her face like he was reading a book written in a language only he understood. You're not afraid of me. I'm terrified of you. But you're standing. I've been terrified for 5 years. Maya met his gaze. Stupid, probably. Suicidal, definitely. After a while, you get used to it. Another flicker. Definitely interest now. 7 days, Caspian said abruptly. You have 7 days to clean the West Tower. If you succeed, you may stay. Room, board, and wages. If you fail, he smiled, and it was a wolf's smile. Well, the forest has to eat too. What's in the West Tower? Dust. He turned away, moving back toward his throne. Endless, eternal dust. 12 cleaners before you have tried. All failed. All left. Left, not died. Maya noted that. Held on to it. Why does it matter, she asked, if it's just dust? Caspian paused, looked back. It matters because I can't clean it. It matters because it won't be cleaned. It matters because... He stopped. Something crossed his face too quick to name. It just matters. I'll do it, Maya said. You'll try. Caspian settled back onto his throne. Theron will show you to your quarters. Meals are served in the main dining hall at dawn, noon, and dusk. Miss one, you go hungry. Break something, it comes from your wages. 'Cause problems... That smile again. Don't cause problems. Yes, my lord. One more thing. His eyes pinned her. The West Tower has a door. It's locked. You'll find the key in your room. Once you open that door, Miss Winters, you cannot close it again until the work is done. Whatever is in there will be released until you finish or flee. Do you understand? Maya's mouth went dry. What's in there? Clean it and find out. Her room was small. A bed, a dresser, a window overlooking gardens turned silver by moonlight. Compared to the servants' quarter at the Winters estate, it was a palace. Maya sat on the bed. It didn't creak. The mattress was soft. Real pillows. Real blankets. She touched them and her hands came away clean. When was the last time she'd slept on clean sheets? A knock at the door. Maya jumped. "Dinner, miss." A woman's voice, elderly and warm. Maya opened the door. A woman stood there, small and round, white hair tucked under a cap. She carried a tray that smelled like heaven. "I'm Alara," the woman said, bustling past into the room. She set the tray on the dresser. "Kitchen help. Lord Caspian said you'd need feeding." Maya stared at the tray. Roasted chicken, fresh bread, vegetables and butter, a piece of actual cheese. More food than she'd seen in weeks. "This is for me, unless you're sharing with mice." Ilara's smile crinkled her whole face. "Eat up, child. You're thin as a rail." Maya's hands shook as she reached for the bread. Warm, soft. She bit into it and nearly sobbed. "There now." Ilara patted her shoulder. "No tears. You're safe here." "Am I?" Maya's voice was barely a whisper. Ilara's smile faded. She looked older suddenly. Sad. "Safer than wherever you came from, I'd wager. Lord Caspian has rules. Follow them, you'll be fine. The others, the 12 before me, went home," Ilara said firmly. "Couldn't handle the work. But they went home, child. Lord Caspian isn't what you've been told. He's hard, yes. Dangerous, certainly, but he's not cruel, not without cause." Maya wanted to believe her, needed to believe something. "The West Tower," she said. "What's in there?" Ilara's face closed like a door. "Can't say, miss. Not my place, but—" She moved to the door, paused. "The last girl who tried, she said it felt like sadness. Said it was the heaviest thing she'd ever touched. Couldn't lift it. Then she was gone." Maya ate. She ate until her stomach hurt, until food became a physical discomfort instead of an ache. Then she lay on the clean bed in the clean room and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow she'd face the West Tower. Tonight she'd rest. But sleep wouldn't come. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Vivian smile, heard the crowd's jeers, felt the impact of rotten vegetables against her skin. They'd thrown her away. All of them. Maya rolled onto her side, curling around the pain. She'd cried so much over the years. Surely there were no tears left. But they came anyway. Silent, bitter, falling onto pillows that someone else would wash. Through the window, the moon rose full and cold. Somewhere in the castle, she heard music. A violin playing something beautiful and sad. Maya cried herself to sleep listening to it. Dawn came too soon and not soon enough. Maya dressed in the same gray dress, her only dress, and followed the sounds of morning to the dining hall. More servants filled the tables. Maybe 20 all told. They fell silent when she entered. She took a seat at the end of a bench. Kept her eyes down. Breakfast was porridge and fresh fruit. Simple. Filling. The woman across from her, young with dark hair, leaned forward. "You're the new one." "Maya." "Brenna." The woman glanced around and lowered her voice. "Word of advice. Don't go into the West Tower." "I have to. It's my job." "No job is worth—" Brenna stopped, shook her head. "Just be careful. And if you see her, don't talk to her." Maya's fork paused halfway to her mouth. But Brenna was already standing breakfast, half finished, hurrying away, like Maya carried infection. The rest of the meal passed in silence. Maya ate mechanically, fueling a body that might not survive the day. Then she climbed the stairs toward the West Tower, following Theron's directions from the night before. The castle was different in daylight, still beautiful, still unsettling. But the shadows were shorter, and she could see details she'd missed. Paintings on the walls, faces in the paintings, all pale, all watching. One painting showed a woman in a white dress, golden hair, blue eyes. Beautiful and sad. The same woman appeared in 3 more paintings. Always beautiful, always sad. Who was she? The West Tower stood apart from the main castle, connected by a covered bridge. Maya crossed it, footsteps echoing. The door at the end was silver and black, carved with symbols that hurt to look at. Just like Caspian had said, a keyhole waited. Maya pulled the key from her pocket. Old iron, heavy. It felt warm, like it had been waiting for her hand. She fitted into the lock. Paused. Once you open that door, you cannot close it again until the work is done. What waited behind this door, that 12 people had fled from Maya, turned the key. The lock clicked. The door swung open. Dust billowed out like a living thing, not normal dust. This glowed faintly silver and blue, swirling in patterns that almost looked deliberate. It filled the air, filled her lungs, filled her vision until she couldn't see the room beyond. And then she saw her. A woman, translucent, floating in the center of the tower room, surrounded by more of that glowing dust. Golden hair drifted around her face like she was underwater. Blue eyes devastated and empty fixed on Maya, the woman from the paintings. Maya's breath stopped. The woman's mouth opened. No sound came out, but Maya heard it anyway. Felt it. A voice that bypassed ears and spoke directly to soul. Help me. Maya's knees buckled. She caught herself on the doorframe. The woman drifted closer and the dust swirled faster, agitated. Please, help me. I can't. Who are you? Maya whispered. The woman's face crumpled. Lilith, I was Lilith. Now I'm just. She faded, grew solid again. Faded, like she couldn't hold form, couldn't stay present. Maya's mind raced. This wasn't dust. This was a ghost, a spirit. And she could see it, hear it, feel it in ways that made her bones ache. But that was impossible. Maya had no magic. Everyone said so. Tests when she was 5'10", 15, 20. Every test came back empty. No power, no gift, nothing. Yet here she stood, watching a dead woman beg for help. Why can you see me? Lilith drifted closer. Her eyes were desperate, hungry. No one sees me. 12 came before you. They felt the sadness. They tried to clean, but they couldn't see. You see? I don't understand. You have the gift. Lilith's hand reached out, translucent fingers that passed through Maya's cheek like cold water. Soul sight, 1 in 10,000. You see us, the trapped, the ones who can't move on. Soul sight, the words resonated like a bell. Maya's hands were shaking. What happened to you? I died. Lilith's voice broke. 100 years ago, I died and he won't let me go. His grief holds me here. His pain binds me. And I'm so tired. I just want to rest. You mean Caspian. The name was a sob. My husband, my killer, my prison. Maya's throat closed. She looked around the tower room. It was massive circular windows on all sides, and every surface was covered in that glowing dust. Layers of it, years of it, all of it pulsing in time with Lilith's grief. This isn't dust, Maya breathed. This is you. This is us. Lilith spread her arms. Me and his sorrow, mixed together, inseparable. He can't see me, can't hear me, but he feels me, and he won't let go. Maya backed toward the door. This was too much, too big. She was a cleaner, not an exorcist, not a medium, not anything. I can't help you. I don't know how. You're the first one who can see me in 100 years. Lilith floated after her. You're the first hope I've had. Please, please don't leave me here. I need to tell him. I need him to know the truth. What truth? Lilith's face twisted with anguish. I didn't die because I hated being a vampire. I died because I was pregnant. The world tilted. What? Our child. Tears of light fell from Lilith's eyes. I was carrying our child, but the baby couldn't survive in a vampire's body. I was killing it just by existing. So I walked into the sun. I thought, her voice shattered, I thought if I died, maybe the baby would survive. Maybe someone would find me and save it. But we both died, and Caspian never knew. He still doesn't know. Maya's back hit the wall. Her heart was a drum. You need to tell him. I can't. He can't see me, can't hear me. I've tried for 100 years. Lilith was sobbing now, the dust swirling into a storm. You have to tell him. You have to make him understand. He thinks I left because I hated him. He's punishing himself for the wrong reasons. I'm just a cleaner. You're a necromancer. Lilith's shout rattled the windows. You have the rarest gift in existence. You can speak to the dead. You can set me free. Necromancer, the word hung in the air like a verdict. Maya slid down the wall, sat on the floor, stared at her hands. And all her life they'd told her she was nothing. No magic, no worth, no future. They'd been wrong. She wasn't powerless. She was powerful in a way so rare that no one had thought to test for it. Soul sight, the ability to see and speak to the dead. 1 in 10,000, Maya started laughing. Couldn't help it. Laughter bubbled up like champagne, hysterical and slightly mad. Vivian had thrown away a necromancer, called her worthless, and sent her to a haunted castle. The irony was so perfect it hurt. Will you help me? Lilith whispered. Maya looked up at the ghost, at the woman who'd died trying to save her child, who'd been trapped for a century in grief and dust. Yes, Maya said. Yes, I'll help you. Lilith's sob was relief made sound. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Maya stood on shaking legs, looked around at the dust-covered room. 7 days. She had 7 days to figure out how to free a ghost and convince a vampire king to let go of 100 years of guilt. No pressure. First, she said, voice steadier than she felt, I need to understand what I'm doing. Can you teach me? I can try. Lilith drifted to the center of the room. Necromancy isn't just seeing the dead. It's understanding death, touching it, moving it. I can show you what I know, what I remember. You remember you were a necromancer too. How else do you think I'm still here? Lilith's smile was bitter. I anchored myself with the last of my power. Thought it would help. Thought Caspian would find a way to see me. But it just made me a better prison. Maya walked to the center of the room, stood before the ghost. Show me. Lilith raised her translucent hands. Close your eyes. Open your soul. Feel the threads between life and death. They're always there. Most people can't sense them. You can. Maya closed her eyes. At first nothing, then gradually she felt it. Threads, hundreds of them, thousands, connecting everything to everything else. The living to the dead, the present to the past. She could feel Lilith's thread frayed and tangled wrapped around something else. Something heavy and dark and infinitely sad. Caspian's grief. I feel it, Maya breathed. Now pull, Lilith instructed. Gently, carefully. See if you can loosen one thread. Maya reached out with senses she didn't know she had, touched a thread, pulled. The dust surged. The room shook. Maya's eyes flew open. What happened? You did it. Lilith was glowing brighter. You actually moved the binding. Just a fraction, but you moved it. Maya, you can do this. You can set me free. A voice from the doorway. What are you doing? Maya spun. Caspian stood in the threshold, red eyes wide, staring not at her, but past her. At Lilith. No, not at Lilith, through her. He couldn't see the ghost at all. But he'd felt something. Maya had moved the binding and he'd felt it. I asked you a question. Caspian's voice was ice and tremors. What are you doing? Maya's mouth was dry. How did she explain this? How did she tell a vampire king that his dead wife was standing right in front of him, begging for release? I'm cleaning, she said. It was the truth, sort of. Caspian's eyes narrowed. No one has ever made the dust move like that. No one has ever made it react. What are you? Maya swallowed. I'm a necromancer. Silence. Absolute. Suffocating. Then Caspian laughed. It was not a kind sound. A necromancer. You, the girl with no magic. He moved into the room. The dust parted around him like water. Do you know how rare necromancers are, Miss Winters? 1 in 10,000. 1 in 50,000, actually. And most die young because they can't control their power. They see too much, feel too much, go mad from the weight of the dead. He was circling her again. You expect me to believe you're one of these rare, powerful individuals. I don't care what you believe. The words came out harder than intended. But I can see her. Your wife, Lilith. She's right there. Maya pointed. Caspian's gaze followed her finger. Saw nothing. There's nothing there. She's there. She's been there for 100 years. You trapped her with your grief. Caspian's hand shot out, grabbed Maya's throat, lifted her off her feet. His strength was impossible casual. He could crush her windpipe without trying. Don't you dare, he hissed in. Speak of things you don't understand. Maya clawed at his hand, couldn't breathe, couldn't speak. Lilith screamed, the dust exploded. It swirled around them both, glowing brighter, forming shapes. Images. A woman in a white dress laughing. The same woman crying, hand on her stomach. The woman walking towards sunlight, tears streaming down her face. The woman burning. Caspian dropped Maya, staggered back, stared at the images. What is this? His voice cracked. What are you doing to me? She's showing you. Maya gasped for air. Lilith is showing you the truth. The images changed, showed the woman's ghost trapped calling out to a man who couldn't hear, showed 100 years of isolation and grief, showed a baby that never was. Caspian fell to his knees. No, she was pregnant, Maya whispered. She didn't die because she hated being a vampire. She died trying to save your child. The Vampire King's face was devastation itself. He reached toward the images with shaking hands. Lilith, I didn't know. I would have. She knows. Maya moved closer. She knows you didn't know. She just needs you to let her go. I can't. You have to. She's been trapped here for a century. Let her rest. Caspian looked up at Maya. Tears of blood ran down his face. How? Maya looked at Lilith's ghost. The woman nodded. You have to forgive yourself, Maya said quietly. You have to stop punishing yourself for loving her. She didn't die because of you. She died because she loved you and your child. There was a child. The words were broken. I could have saved, maybe, maybe not, but she made her choice. Honor it. Let her go. Caspian bowed his head. His shoulders shook. The most powerful creature Maya had ever met was weeping like his heart was breaking. Maybe it was. I loved you, he whispered to empty air. I love you still. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The dust began to glow, brighter and brighter until the room was full of light. Lilith's form solidified. For just a moment, she was real, solid. She knelt before Caspian and placed her hand on his cheek. He felt it. Maya saw the shock in his eyes. It's all right, Lilith said, and this time he heard. It's all right to let me go. It's all right to live again. Find happiness, Caspian. Find love. That's all I had ever wanted for you. Then she was dissolving, fading. The light grew blinding. Wait! Caspian reached for her. Please don't. I love you. I forgive you. Now forgive yourself. The light exploded. When Maya could see again, the tower was clean, spotless. The dust was gone. The air was clear. Lilith was gone. Caspian knelt on the floor, head bowed, tears still falling. Maya had never seen anyone look so broken and so relieved at the same time. She knelt beside him, didn't touch, just sat there. She's free, he finally asked. Yes, because of you. Because you let her go. Caspian looked at her, really looked for the first time. You're a necromancer, apparently. Why didn't you know? No one tested for it. Why would they? We're 1 in 50,000. Maya smiled bitterly. I was just the burden, not worth thorough testing. Something shifted in Caspian's expression. Your stepsister, she called you a burden, threw you away. Yes. She sent you here hoping you'd die. Probably. Caspian stood, offered his hand. Maya took it and he pulled her to her feet with effortless strength. You just freed a soul that has been trapped for 100 years, he said quietly. You gave me peace I thought impossible. You are many things, Maya Winters, but a burden is not one of them. The words hit harder than any insult Vivian had ever thrown. Maya's eyes stung. Thank you. No. Caspian's grip on her hand tightened. Thank you. You have 7 days, I said. You've done it in 1. The West Tower is yours if you want it. Work for me, not as a cleaner, as a necromancer. Help the dead who linger. Give them peace. I don't know how to control it yet. Then learn. I'll help you. He released her hand. You're not worthless, Maya. You're extraordinary, and I suspect you always have been. Maya looked around the clean tower, looked at the Vampire King standing before her, thought about Vivian's face when she threw Maya away. Then she smiled. When do I start? Day 2 dawned with hesitant light filtering through Maya's window. She woke in the West Tower, her tower now, Caspian had said, feeling the echo of yesterday's magic still humming beneath her skin. One day. She'd been here one day and discovered she had power beyond imagining. But power, she was learning, came with weight. Maya dressed and descended to the dining hall. The servants' whispers followed her. Word had spread. The new girl had cleaned the West Tower, the impossible tower, in one day. Brenna, the dark-haired woman from yesterday, slid onto the bench beside her. You did it. Not a question. Statement of fact. The tower, it's clean. Yes. How Brenna's eyes were wide, curious not hostile. 12 before you tried, some for weeks, none succeeded. Maya hesitated, but these people had shown her kindness, fed her, given her shelter. They deserved some truth. I can see the dead, she said quietly. Speak to them. Help them move on. Brenna's breath caught. You're a necromancer, apparently. Sweet gods. Brenna touched her hand, quick, sympathetic. That's rare and dangerous. The weight of all those souls. I'm learning. Maya managed to smile, slowly. Breakfast was warm bread and honey. Simple. Good. Maya ate, feeling eyes on her, feeling the shift in how people looked at her. Yesterday, she'd been another doom cleaner. Today, she was something else. She wasn't sure which was worse. After breakfast, she found Caspian in the library, the massive room she'd glimpsed yesterday. He sat by the window, morning light turning his pale skin luminous. A leather journal lay open before him. There's a child in the East Wing, he said without preamble. Dead 10 years. She won't leave her room. Can you help her? Maya's stomach twisted. I don't know how. Yesterday was... I barely understood what I was doing. Neither did Lilith, at first. Caspian finally looked at her. Those red eyes were gentler today. Tired, grieving but no longer drowning. She was 15 when her gift manifested. Thought she was going mad, seeing things that shouldn't exist. What happened? She learned, slowly, painfully, trial and error. He stood moved to a shelf, pulled down the leather journal. She kept notes. Everything she discovered about necromancy. I've kept it safe for 100 years. It's yours now. Maya took the journal. The leather was soft, well-worn. She opened it to the first page. Lilith's handwriting delicate and precise. Day 1 of understanding. The dead are not gone. They are simply elsewhere. And some of us can see elsewhere. Thank you, Maya whispered. Don't thank me yet. Caspian's expression was unreadable. Necromancy comes with a price. The more you use it, the more you'll see, the more you'll feel. Lilith said it was like carrying the weight of every soul that couldn't move on. Eventually, that weight becomes unbearable. Did it break her? No, but it came close. He moved to the door, paused. Be careful, Maya. This gift can save others, but it can destroy you. Then he was gone, leaving her alone with a dead woman's journal and a warning. Days 2 and 3 blurred together in a haze of learning. Maya found the child Emma, 7 years old, died of fever, waiting for a mother who would never come. She helped Emma see her mother's spirit on the other side. Watched the little girl dissolve into light, finally at peace. It hurt. Not physically, but somewhere deeper, somewhere souls lived. Maya felt the weight of Emma's 10-year wait, felt the echo of her relief. This was the price Caspian had warned about. Feeling what they felt, carrying what they carried. But Maya kept going. A soldier who'd died defending the gates, still standing watch. A maid who'd fallen from a tower, trapped by the trauma of sudden death. A gardener who'd simply forgotten he was dead and kept tending roses for 30 years. Each one left a mark. Each one took something from her and gave something back. And through it all, Caspian watched. He didn't interfere, but he was always there. In doorways, in shadows, making sure she didn't push too far too fast. On the evening of day 3, she found him in the garden at twilight. His time, Alara had called it, when vampires felt most alive. You're limping, he said without turning. Maya had twisted her ankle on the stairs. Nothing serious. It's fine. You're exhausted. Also fine. You released 8 spirits in 3 days. Lilith's record was 3 in a week. Maya sat on a stone bench, grateful to be off her feet. I'm trying to prove I'm worth keeping. You proved that on day 1. Caspian finally looked at her. You're staying, Maya, for as long as you want. This isn't a trial anymore. Something warm bloomed in her chest. Thank you. He moved closer, sat beside her, close enough that she could feel the cold radiating from him. Vampires didn't generate heat. They were walking winter. Tell me about them, he said. Your sisters. Maya stiffened. Why? Because you carry their weight too. I see it. The way you look at child ghosts, the way your voice softens. For a long moment, Maya didn't answer. Then Lily was 12. She loved flowers, drew them constantly, wanted to be an artist. And the others? Rose was 14, practical. She kept the household running after mother got sick. And Violet, Maya's voice caught. Violet was 16, beautiful, kind. She sang like an angel. You loved them. More than anything. The words hurt coming out. I was 18. I should have protected them, should have done something. Fever doesn't care about should. Caspian's voice was gentle. It takes who it takes. You survived. That's not a sin. Vivian thinks it is. She says I use them as an excuse for being nothing. Vivian is a fool. The certainty in his voice startled her. Maya looked at him. Really looked. In the twilight, he seemed less like a monster and more like a man. A tired man who'd lived too long and seen too much. You loved Lilith, she said. Yes. Tell me about her. But our Caspian was quiet for so long Maya thought he wouldn't answer. Then, she was human when we met, 19 years old, a necromancer from a village that wanted to burn her for it. I found her hiding in a cemetery talking to graves. You saved her. I claimed her. There's a difference. His jaw tightened. I was already old then. Over 100 years of walking, watching everyone age and die. She was young and alive and could see things I couldn't. I was obsessed. You loved her, Maya corrected. I possessed her. I convinced myself it was love, but love doesn't cage. Love doesn't force. He looked at his hands. I turned her into a vampire because I couldn't bear the thought of losing her. Didn't ask, didn't give her a choice. Just took her mortality and called it a gift. Maya's throat was tight. What did she do? Accepted it at first, tried to make it work. But she missed the sun, missed warmth, missed being human. And I was too arrogant to see her dying inside until it was too late. She walked into the sun. Yes, the word was barely sound. I found the note, came back to an empty house and a letter that said she was sorry, that she loved me, that she couldn't do this anymore. And you blamed yourself. I killed her, Maya, not with my hands, but with my selfishness. I deserve that blame. Maya reached out, placed her hand over his. His skin was cold as marble. He stared at their joined hands like he'd forgotten what touch felt like. She didn't die because of you, Maya said quietly. She died trying to save your child. Caspian's fingers twitched. A child I never knew existed. She didn't know how to tell you. Maybe she was scared. Maybe she thought you'd try to stop her. But she chose Caspian. It was her choice, not your fault. He turned his hand over, gripped hers. How are you so certain? Because I saw her. I felt what she felt, and there was no blame in it. Only love. She loved you. She loved your child, and she did what she thought was right. A sound escaped him. Not quite almost. I would have saved them both if I'd known. I would have found a way. Maybe, maybe not. Maya squeezed his hand. But you didn't get that choice. She made it for you, and now you have to live with it, not punish yourself for it. Live. Caspian looked at her. Something shifted in his expression, something warm and dangerous and impossibly gentle. You're remarkable, he said. I'm practical. You're brave. I'm terrified. Then you're both. His thumb traced circles on her palm. The gesture was unconscious, intimate. Stay Maya, not as an employee, as... He stopped, swallowed, as something more. Maya's heart was a drum. More, I don't know what to call it, but I know that when you're not here, the castle feels empty, and when you are, it feels like home. Oh, Caspian, Don't answer now. He released her hand, stood. Think about it. I'm not an easy man. I'm cold, literally and figuratively. I've hurt people I loved, and I'll outlive you by centuries. That's not a small thing. I know. Do you buy? He looked down at her. Because I've done this before, Maya. I won't make Lilith's mistake again. I won't trap you. If you stay, it's because you choose to. Every day. And the day you want to leave, I'll let you go. What if I don't want to leave? Then I'll love you for as long as you let me. The confession was raw, honest. But I need you to be sure, to really know what you're choosing. Maya stood. The top of her head barely reached his shoulder. She felt small next to him, but not weak. Never weak. I'll think about it, she said. He nodded, stepped back. The space between them felt like miles. Tomorrow is day 4, he said. There's a ritual Lilith wrote about. A final liberation sending spirits beyond the veil completely. Will you help me perform it for her? Yes. Good. He started to walk away, paused. Maya. Yes. You're not nothing. You never were. I'm sorry it took you this long to find someone who could see it. Then he was gone into the dark, leaving Maya alone with her racing heart and a decision that felt bigger than castles. Day 4 dawned gray and cold, perfect for endings and beginnings. Maya stood in the West Tower with Lilith's journal open to the final pages. The liberation ritual, a way to free spirits, completely sending them beyond the veil to whatever waited. She'd performed smaller versions over the past days, but this was different. This was for Lilith, for the woman who'd written this journal, for the ghost who'd helped Maya discover what she was. Caspian waited at the tower's center. He'd been there since midnight preparing. Candles formed a circle, symbols drawn in salt. Old magic older than kingdoms. Are you ready? Maya asked. No. His voice was steady despite the word. But it's time. Maya stepped into the circle, closed her eyes, reached for the threads. Lilith was there. Fainter now, already starting to fade. The tower's cleaning had weakened her anchor, but she remained waiting for this final release. Can you hear me? Maya whispered. Lilith's voice came like wind through leaves. Yes. Caspian is here. He wants to say goodbye. I know, I can feel him. Maya opened her eyes, looked at Caspian. She's here, she can hear you. His composure cracked. Lilith, I'm so sorry, for everything, for not seeing, for not listening, for loving you so selfishly. Lilith's presence grew stronger, Maya felt her gathering energy for one final manifestation. I forgave you 100 years ago, Lilith said. And this time Caspian heard, his eyes widened. I never blamed you, my love. I only ever wanted you happy. How can I be happy without you? By living, by finding love again, by being the man I always knew you could be. Her form was solidifying, becoming visible. A woman made of light and memory. I loved you, Caspian Thorn. I love you still. But my time is done, and yours continues. She turned to Maya, smiled. Take care of him. He needs someone strong, someone who won't break under the weight of forever. I'll try, Maya whispered. You'll succeed. Lilith's hand touched Maya's cheek, cold and warm at once. Thank you for seeing me, for hearing me, for giving me peace. Then she looked at Caspian one last time. Our child would have been beautiful, would have been loved. I don't regret trying to save it. I only regret not telling you. Caspian was crying, blood tears that stained his face. I would have saved you both. I know, but some things aren't meant to be saved, only loved and remembered. Lilith began to glow brighter. Goodbye, my king. Find joy, find light, find love. I love you, Caspian choked out. I'll always love you. I know, and that's enough. The light exploded. When Maya could see again, Lilith was gone. Truly gone. No thread remained, no echo. Just peace where anguish had been. Caspian collapsed. Maya caught him, or tried to. He was too heavy, too strong. They ended up on the floor together, his head on her shoulder, his body shaking with sobs 100 years in the making. Maya held him, didn't speak, just held him while he broke apart and began slowly to heal. Outside, the sun broke through clouds. Light poured into the tower for the first time in a century. It painted everything gold. Lilith's final gift, letting the light back in. The days that followed became something else entirely. Days 5 through 18, Maya stopped counting after a while, became a montage of moments she would remember forever. Caspian taught her the castle's secrets. Hidden passages, forgotten rooms, a greenhouse where impossible flowers bloomed under spelled glass, a music room where instruments played themselves if you asked politely. Maya taught him to laugh again. Really laugh, not the bitter sound he'd made before. She told terrible jokes, made puns that should be crimes. Once convinced him that vampire was just really committed goth in old Latin. He'd laughed so hard he'd snorted, then looked mortified, then laughed harder. They walked the gardens every evening, his cold hand in her warm one, talking about everything and nothing, her childhood, his century and a half of existence, what it meant to be alive, what it meant to be worth something. On day 13 in the library surrounded by books and candlelight, he'd kissed her. Hesitant at first, like he'd forgotten how, or feared he'd do it wrong. Maya had pulled him closer, showed him it was right. His lips were cold, his hands gentle. He kissed like she was precious, like she might shatter. She kissed him back like she was sure, like she'd decided, because she had. This man, this vampire, this king, this broken, beautiful thing, he saw her, really saw her. Not the burden, not the girl with no magic, but Maya, all of her, worth and flaws and everything between. And she saw him, not the monster, not the legend, but Caspian, lonely and trying, guilty and healing, capable of love so deep it had trapped a ghost for a century. When they finally broke apart breathless, despite neither needing air, he'd rested his forehead against hers. Stay, he'd whispered. Please stay. Yes, she'd answered. Yes. Day 19 shattered like glass. Maya was in the gardens teaching Magnus's daughter about the difference between ghosts and echoes when Theron found her. We have a problem. His face was stone, battle ready. Maya's stomach dropped. What kind of problem? The kind with 50 people and torches. Your stepsister is at the gates. The world tilted. Vivian, she's brought half of Ashwick. Claims you were kidnapped. Demands your return. Theron's jaw tightened. The magistrate is with her. This could get official. Maya ran through gardens, across courtyards, up steps. By the time she reached the main gates, she was gasping. And there was Vivian, more beautiful than ever in a dress of blue silk, hair perfect, smile practiced. Surrounded by townspeople Maya recognized. Thomas was there, the magistrate, even Father Benedict, 50 people, maybe more, all staring at the castle with fear and righteous fury. Maya, Vivian's voice carried, perfectly pitched concern. Oh, thank the gods, you're alive. I'm fine, Vivian, go home. Fine, fine. Vivian's hand pressed to her heart. Oscar-worthy performance. You were taken by a vampire forced to work in this horrible place. We're here to rescue you. I don't need rescuing. You're not thinking clearly. Stockholm Syndrome. The poor dear has been brainwashed. Vivian looked at the magistrate. We need to bring her home, by force if necessary. The crowd murmured agreement. Maya's hands clenched. I'm not going anywhere. I work here. I live here, by choice. You have no choice. Thomas stepped forward. Your family, Maya. We're responsible for you. The hypocrisy was staggering. You threw me out, publicly humiliated me, called me garbage. We were harsh, Vivian admitted. Too harsh. We've regretted it every day. Haven't we, Father? Thomas nodded, lying through his teeth. Please, Maya. Vivian's eyes welled with tears. Fake. All fake. Come home. We miss you. We need you. Since when? Since we heard you were here, with him. Vivian's gaze shifted. Vampire King, show yourself. Face what you've done. The air grew cold. Caspian appeared at the top of the gate stairs. He moved like shadow-made flesh. Red eyes blazing, power radiating from him in waves. The crowd took 3 steps back. What I've done, Caspian said, voice like winter's heart, is give Maya Winter shelter, employment, respect, things she apparently never had with you. You've corrupted her, Vivian's voice rose, turned her against her own family. She had no family. You made that clear when you sold her to me like livestock. Murmurs ran through the crowd. Sold. The word carried weight. I did no such thing. Vivian's face flushed. I found her employment, tried to help. You tried to get rid of her. Caspian descended the stairs, slow, deliberate, terrifying. You thought she'd die here, thought I'd kill her, and you'd be free of the burden. That's not... I can smell lies, Miss Winters, and you reek of them. Vivian's mask slipped, just for a second. Something ugly flashed across her face. Then it was back, the concerned sister, the wronged family. Maya, please. She reached out. Don't make me do this the hard way. There is no hard way, Maya said. I'm staying. I'm happy here. Happier than I ever was with you. You're delusional. I'm free. You're a prisoner. I'm home. The words echoed. Maya hadn't meant to shout, but there it was, the truth. This castle, this strange Gothic fortress full of ghosts and shadows and a vampire king who looked at her like she mattered. This was home. Vivian's face went cold. So be it. Magistrate, I invoke family rights. Maya Winters is not of sound mind. I request custody. The magistrate stepped forward, nervous, sweating. Lord Thorne, if Miss Winters is incapacitated. She's standing right there. Caspian's voice was a razor. Ask her yourself. Miss Winters? The magistrate wouldn't meet her eyes. Are you here of your own free will? Yes. Are you being coerced? No. Then legally I cannot. She's been enchanted. Vivian's control was cracking. Can't you see this monster has her under a spell? I'm not enchanted. Maya stepped forward. I'm employed. I'm paid. I'm safe. And I'm staying. Vivian's eyes narrowed. Then she smiled. And Maya saw it. The shadow beneath her skin. The darkness she'd always sensed but never understood. You were never this defiant before, Vivian said softly. Never this brave. What changed, little Maya? What did he do to you? He saw me. Simple truth. He saw what you never bothered to look for. And what's that? That I'm not worthless, that I have power, that I matter. Power, Vivian laughed. You have no magic, no gifts. You're as empty as, I'm a necromancer. Silence. Absolute. The crowd stared. Vivian went pale. Impossible, she whispered. 1 in 50,000, Caspian said. Rarer than any magic you possess, Vivian. That was a mistake. Maya saw it immediately, saw the way Vivian's eyes sharpened. Any magic I possess. Vivian's voice was silk and poison. You think you know what I am. You reek of dark magic, poorly hidden, barely controlled. Vivian's smile was a knife. Is that so? The air changed. Pressure built. The sky darkened despite it being afternoon. And Vivian began to glow. Black light, wrong light. It poured from her skin like oil, writhing and hungry. The crowd screamed, scattered. The magistrate ran. Only Thomas remained, and he was grinning. Finally, Vivian hissed, I'm so tired of hiding. Her shadow peeled away from her body, grew, multiplied, became dozens of writhing tentacles of darkness. Shadow magic. Forbidden. Deadly. You're a shadow weaver, Maya breathed. Very good. Such a smart girl now that you've found your power. Vivian's eyes were black pits. Want to know why I hated you, Maya? Why I really wanted you gone? Tell me. Because I saw it, years ago, saw the potential in you, the gift waiting to bloom, and I knew that when you finally discovered what you were, you'd be more powerful than me. And I couldn't have that. Maya's blood went cold. You knew. I've always known. Why do you think I kept you weak, dark, broken? Was making sure you'd never have the strength to manifest your gift. But you survived. You always survived. Like a cockroach that won't die. Rage, white, hot, and clean, burned through Maya's veins. You tried to kill me. I tried to save myself. But then you came here. Found him. Found your power. And now you're everything I feared. Vivian's shadows lashed out. So I'll finish this. Finally. The shadows attacked. Caspian moved, fast as lightning. He tore through the first wave, shredding them like paper. But more came, dozens, hundreds. Run, he shouted at Maya. Maya didn't run, couldn't. The shadows were everywhere. One wrapped around her ankle, pulled. She fell hard, skull cracking against cobblestones. Pain exploded, vision blurred, more shadows, wrapping around her throat. Squeezing, can't breathe, can't see. Can't. Caspian's roar shook the castle. He was there, ripping shadows off her, destroying them with bare hands. But there were too many. A shadow spear pierced his shoulder. He grunted, kept fighting. Stop, Vivian's voice. Stop or I kill her. Right now. Crush her throat and watch her die. Caspian froze. The shadow around Maya's neck tightened. Warning. Good vampire. Vivian approached. Now, you're going to give her to me and you're going to let us leave. Or I'll destroy her in front of you. Touch her again, and I'll make you beg for death. Threats, how original. Vivian's hand tangled in Maya's hair, yanked her head back. She's mine, monster. Always was. I just let her borrow a life for a while. Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't fight. The shadow was crushing her windpipe. Darkness crept into her vision. Dying. She was dying. Caspian's face was devastation. Let her go. Please, take me instead. I don't want you. Vivian's grip tightened. I want her dead. I want the threat gone. I want... Maya bit her. Vivian screamed. The shadow loosened. Just for a second. Maya gasped, drew breath, and with that breath she reached. Not with hands, with her gift, her power, the necromancy she'd been learning. She reached for the dead, and they answered. The ground erupted. Spirits poured from the earth, from the castle, from graves long forgotten. 11 of them. The 12 cleaners who'd come before her, the ones who'd died trying to free Lilith. They were translucent, angry, powerful, and they were hers to command. Protect, Maya whispered. The ghosts attacked. Vivian shrieked. Her shadows fought back. But spirits couldn't be cut, couldn't be destroyed. They swarmed her, tearing at her magic, disrupting her control. The shadow around Maya's throat vanished. She fell gasping. Caspian caught her. Are you Fight, Maya croaked. I'll control the spirits. You handle her. His eyes blazed. Don't you dare die on me. Wasn't planning to. Caspian attacked. He moved like death itself, claws extended, fangs bared. He tore through Vivian's defenses, aiming for her throat. She blocked. Barely. Shadows formed armor. But Caspian was stronger, older, angrier. He broke through, grabbed her by the neck, lifted her off the ground. You tried to kill her, he snarled. You tried to kill her. Vivian choked, clawed at his hand. She's nothing. She's everything. He slammed her into the ground, raised his claws. And you'll die knowing that. Caspian, wait, Maya's voice. He paused, looked back. Maya was standing. Barely. Blood ran down her face from where she'd hit the cobblestones. But she was standing. Don't kill her, Maya said. She tried to murder you. I know. But if you kill her, you're the monster they all say you are. Maya limped closer. Let the magistrate handle it. Let justice be legal, not vengeful. Caspian's hand shook. Every instinct screamed to finish this, to protect Maya by eliminating the threat. But he released Vivian, threw her aside like trash. Theron, bind her. The captain appeared with silver chains. Vivian fought, but she was exhausted. Her magic spent. She collapsed as the chains wrapped around her wrists, nullifying her power. You'll regret this, she spat at Maya. You'll regret letting me live. Maybe. Maya knelt beside her. But I'm not you, Vivian. I don't kill family. I'm not your family. No, you're not. Maya stood. Take her to town. Let the magistrate witness what she is, what she's done. Theron dragged Vivian away. Her screams echoed. Maya swayed. Darkness crept in again. Her head throbbed. The world tilted. Caspian caught her before she fell. Maya, stay with me. I'm okay. You're bleeding. You hit your head. You just tired, so tired. He lifted her, cradled her against his chest. I'm taking you inside. Magnus, get the healer. Caspian, Maya's voice was fading. Did we win? Yes, you won. Good. Her eyes closed. That's good. She passed out in his arms. Maya woke to pain, skull-splitting, nauseating, everything hurts pain. She groaned. Easy, Caspian's voice, close. Don't move. She opened her eyes. Ceiling, her room, night outside the window. How long had she been unconscious? Hours, Caspian said. He must have seen the question on her face. The healer says you have a concussion, possibly a skull fracture. You need to rest. Maya tried to sit up. The room spun. Caspian's hand steadied her. Vivian, in custody. The magistrate saw everything. Shadow magic, attempted murder. She'll be exiled at minimum, executed at worst. Good. Maya's throat was raw. Thomas fled, coward. Caspian's jaw tightened. We'll find him. Maya leaned back against the pillows. Everything ached, but she was alive. You called 11 spirits, Caspian said quietly. 11 at once. Lilith could barely manage 3. Desperate times. You're powerful, Maya, more than you know, more than is safe. She looked at him, really looked. He was pale, paler than usual. The shadow spear wound in his shoulder was still there, not healing. You're hurt. I'm fine. Liar. She reached for him. Let me see. He caught her hand. I'll heal. I always do. Went bum, eventually. Caspian. I thought I'd lost you. The confession burst out, raw, broken. When I saw that shadow around your throat, I thought he couldn't finish. Didn't need to. Maya pulled him closer. I'm here, I'm alive. Because you're strong and brave, and entirely too reckless. His forehead touched hers. Don't ever scare me like that again. I'll try. Maya, he stopped, swallowed. I love you. I know it's too soon. I know I have no right, but I love you. Her heart stopped, started again, beat faster. It's not too soon, she whispered, and you have every right. He pulled back, searched her face. You don't have to. I love you too. Simple. True. I've been falling since the first day, maybe before. Relief crashed across his features. He kissed her, gentle despite the desperation underneath. She kissed back, tasting blood and fear and hope. When they broke apart, she was dizzy. Or maybe that was the concussion. I want to stay, Maya said. Not just for now, for a long time. How long do you live? Understanding dawned in his eyes. Maya, no, you can't, I won't. I'm not asking today, or tomorrow, but someday. She held his gaze. Someday I want what you are. I want forever with you. You don't know what you're asking. Then teach me, show me, let me decide with all the facts. Her hand found his. But know this, I'm choosing you, Caspian. Today and every day after. And eventually I'll choose forever. He was crying, blood tears that fell like rubies. If you change your mind, I won't. If you do, I'll let you go. I swear it. I know. She pulled him down, held him. But I won't. They stayed like that, wrapped in each other, two broken people finding wholeness in the spaces between. Outside the moon rose, full and bright. And somewhere in the darkness, Vivian screamed her hatred. But Maya didn't hear, didn't care. She'd won. Finally, truly won. And this was only the beginning. Day 20, Maya woke screaming. Fire. Her veins were fire. Every cell burning, dying, being reborn as something else. Something wrong, something right, something impossible. Caspian held her down. His face swam above hers, distorted by pain tears. I'm here. I'm here. It's the transformation. You're changing. Changing. The word was glass in her throat. The wound, Vivian's shadow magic. It poisoned you. The only way to save you was... His voice broke. I had to turn you. Had to give you my blood. You were dying, Maya. I couldn't watch you die. Understanding crashed through the agony. Vampire. He'd made her a vampire. She should be angry, should rage at the choice stolen. But all she felt was burning. How long? She gasped. 2 days, one more to go. His hand found hers, squeezed. I'm so sorry. I know you wanted time, wanted to choose, but you were dying and I was selfish and I couldn't let you go. Not mad. Each word cost her. Just hurts. I know, God, I know. He pressed his forehead to hers. But you're strong, stronger than anyone. You'll survive this. Another wave of fire. Maya arched off the bed screaming. Caspian held her through it, whispered things she couldn't hear over her own agony. The pain built and built and built. Then finally it crested. Maya felt something inside her break, shatter, reform into new shapes, new purposes. Her necromancy surged, met the vampire transformation, merged with it, and became something unprecedented. She could feel it, power like she'd never imagined. Death magic and undeath magic twining together, feeding each other, growing exponentially. This wasn't just transformation. This was evolution. Maya opened her eyes. The world exploded into clarity, every color sharper, every sound louder. She could hear Caspian's unnecessary heartbeat, slow and deliberate, could smell the blood in his veins, ancient and cold. And beyond that, spirits, hundreds of them, thousands, not just in the castle, but beyond, across the kingdom, all the dead, all the lost, all the trapped. She could feel every single one. Maya, Caspian's voice was cautious, hopeful, terrified. Are you? She sat up. No pain now, just strength, just power. I can see them all, she whispered. Every spirit, every ghost, every soul between life and death. They're all there like stars. Caspian's eyes widened. Lilith could sense nearby spirits, maybe 10 at a time. You're saying you can sense all of them? Maya looked at her hands. They were paler now. Not as pale as Caspian's, but closer. What am I? Something new. Wonder and fear warred in his expression. Vampire and necromancer, both fully. The transformation didn't erase your gift. It amplified it. Maya closed her eyes, reached out with her new senses, found the thread of a spirit nearby, a servant who'd died 50 years ago lingering in the kitchen. She pulled. Gently, the spirit appeared before them. Solid, real, not translucent like before, but actual flesh and blood as if alive. What? The spirit looked at his hands. Oh, you can go now, Maya said softly. You're free. The spirit dissolved, not fading, releasing, moving on with a sigh of relief. Caspian stared. You manifested him. Actually manifested him. Gave him temporary form. That's impossible. Apparently not. Maya stood. Her body felt different, lighter, stronger. She moved to the mirror. The woman looking back was familiar but changed. Same face, same storm gray eyes, but paler skin, sharper features, and something else, something that looked almost like power made visible. I'm beautiful, she said, surprised. You were always beautiful. Caspian approached, stood behind her. Now you just look like what you always were. Extraordinary. Maya turned to face him. I should be upset. You took my choice. I know. I wanted time to decide, to be sure. I know. But I'm not upset. She touched his face. Because this is what I would have chosen, eventually. You just accelerated the timeline. Relief crashed across his features. You're certain. I'm certain. She kissed him. It was different now. Same temperature, same strength, equals in ways they hadn't been before. When they broke apart, Caspian was smiling. Actually smiling. Joy instead of pain. Welcome to forever, Maya Thorne. Is that a proposal? It's a promise. He pulled her close. But yes, when you're ready, if you're ready, marry me. Be my queen, my partner, my everything. Maya's undead heart soared. Yes. Yes, yes to all of it. Yes to forever. Yes to you. She grinned. But let's wait until after the trial. I want Vivian to watch me marry you. Want her to see exactly how wrong she was. Caspian's laugh was dark and delighted. Vicious. I love it. I learned from the best. Day 22. Maya stood before a mirror in her tower adjusting the dress Alara had brought. Black silk. Fitted. Elegant. A dress for a queen, not a servant. She looked powerful. Felt powerful. Was powerful. 3 days of transformation had changed everything. Now she was ready to face the world as what she'd become. A knock at the door. Maya was Caspian's voice. The magistrate is here. It's time. Time. Time to watch Vivian face justice. Maya descended the tower stairs, met Caspian in the Great Hall. He wore black as always, but today it felt ceremonial. Today they were making a statement. The magistrate waited with 20 witnesses. Ashwick's mayor, the constable, town elders, all the people who'd watch Maya be thrown away. All the people who'd see her triumph. Theron brought Vivian in, still in chains, still bound in magic nullifying silver, but her defiance hadn't dimmed. She looked at Maya, her eyes widened. You're alive, changed, powerful. Maya's voice was steady. Everything you feared. Vivian's face twisted. He turned you, made you a monster. He saved me, made me whole. Maya moved closer. But we're not here to discuss my transformation. We're here to discuss your crimes. The magistrate cleared his throat. Vivian Winters, you stand accused of use of forbidden, shadow magic, attempted murder, assault with magical intent, fraud, and conspiracy to harm. How do you plead not guilty? Vivian's chin lifted. I was defending myself against a vampire and his thrall. Thrall one, the mayor's voice. Miss Maya doesn't appear enthralled. Of course not. That's how good vampires are at deception. Vivian's performance was flawless. Look at her. She's one of them now. Pale, dead, corrupted. I'm standing right here, Maya said, and I chose this, just like I chose to work here, just like I choose to stay. You had no choice. I saved you from poverty. You threw me to wolves, hoped I'd die, publicly humiliated me. Maya's voice was ice. Everyone here witnessed it, the town square. Remember? Murmurs from the witnesses. They remembered. I was harsh, Vivian admitted, but not criminal. You used shadow magic, forbidden by kingdom law. The magistrate consulted his notes. Multiple witnesses saw the manifestation, including myself. Self-defense. Against what? Maya interrupted. I was unarmed, untrained. You attacked because I was happy, because I'd found somewhere I belonged, and you couldn't stand it. You belonged with family. You were never my family. The words rang through the hall. Family doesn't starve, doesn't humiliate, doesn't try to murder. Vivian lunged. The chains held her back. You self-righteous little... Enough, Caspian's voice cut like a blade. The evidence is clear. The witness is numerous. What's your verdict, magistrate? The magistrate looked uncomfortable, but he'd seen too much to deny it. Guilty on all counts. No, Vivian thrashed. You can't. I'm nobility. I have rights. You have the right to exile. The magistrate's voice was firm. By kingdom law, use of forbidden magic results in permanent banishment. You will be escorted to the border. If you return, the penalty is death. You're exiling me! Vivian's voice rose to a shriek. She's the monster. She's the one who should be banished. She's the one you made, Maya said quietly. You pushed and pushed and pushed, hoping I'd break. But I didn't break Vivian. I became. Vivian's face crumpled. Not with remorse, with rage, pure, undiluted hatred. I should have killed you when father married your mother. Should have poisoned you alongside your sisters. The hall went silent. Maya's blood froze. What? You heard me? Vivian's smile was vicious. The fever wasn't natural. I paid a witch, made sure those 3 brats died screaming. Would have killed you too if you hadn't been so disgustingly resilient. The world tilted. Lily, Rose, Violet, murdered. All of them. Not by disease, but by poison. By Vivian's hand. Maya moved, didn't think, just moved. She had Vivian by the throat before anyone could blink. Lifted her off the ground with vampire strength. Squeezed. You killed them. Maya's voice was a whisper. A scream. You killed my sisters. Prove it, Vivian choked out. The witch is dead. No evidence, just the word of a convicted criminal. Maya's grip tightened. It would be easy. So easy. Just squeeze a little harder. Crush her windpipe. Watch her die. Maya, Caspian's voice gentle. Don't. She murdered them. I know, and she'll pay. But not like this. Not by your hand. Why not? Maya's vision was red. She deserves to live with what she's done, to spend the rest of her miserable life knowing she failed. Caspian's hand on her shoulder. You're not a killer, Maya. Don't become one for her. Maya's hand shook. Every instinct screamed to finish this. To avenge Lily Rose Violet. But Caspian was right. Killing Vivian wouldn't bring them back. Wouldn't heal the wound. It would just make Maya the monster Vivian always claimed she was. She released her. Vivian fell, gasped for air. "You're exiled," Maya said. "Go, live your pathetic life somewhere else, and know that I won. Know that the girl you called worthless became everything you will never be. This isn't over." "It is." Maya turned her back. Dismissal. The ultimate insult. "Take her away. I'm done." Theron dragged Vivian out. Her screams echoed, faded, died. Maya stood there shaking, Caspian's arms wrapped around her from behind. "You did the right thing," he murmured. "Did I?" "Yes. You chose mercy over vengeance, strength over rage. That's what makes you a queen." Maya leaned back into him. Let him take some of the weight. Her sisters were gone, had been gone for 10 years, but now she knew the truth, knew they'd been murdered, and knowing hurt more than ignorance ever had. But she'd survived, again, always, and that was her revenge. Living, thriving, becoming. Vivian had tried to destroy her. Instead, she'd forged her into something unbreakable. Months passed like a dream. Maya and Caspian married in the garden under a full moon. Small ceremony, just the staff. Elara cried. Magnus baked a cake. Theron smiled, actually smiled. Maya wore white. Caspian wore black. They exchanged vows that promised forever and meant it. The castle became a sanctuary. Word spread. Magic users fleeing persecution came seeking shelter. Those with gifts the world feared found home. Over 100 refugees by month 6, 200 by month 9. Maya helped them all, welcomed them, protected them. She spent her days guiding lost spirits, teaching young magic users, building something that mattered. And Caspian watched it happen with wonder. His haunted fortress becoming home. His isolation becoming community. His darkness becoming light. "You're changing everything," he told her one evening, month 9. "We're changing everything," she corrected. Together. Then month 9, Maya woke feeling wrong. Not sick, not hurt, just different. She found Elara in the kitchen. "Something's happening to me." The old woman studied Maya's face, her eyes widened. "When was your last cycle?" "I haven't had one since the transformation." "Vampires don't. Most don't, but you're not most vampires." Elara summoned Mora the healer. Mora examined Maya, pressed on her abdomen, asked questions. Then she smiled. "You're pregnant, my lady, about 2 months along." The world stopped. "But that's impossible. Vampires can't. Full vampires can't. You're hybrid. Your body retains some human functions." Mora's smile widened. "No hybrid has ever carried a vampire's child before. You're the first." Maya told Caspian in his study. He went pale. "Lilith was pregnant. She and the baby both died." "I'm not Lilith. I'm stronger. Different." Maya took his hands. "We have healers, knowledge. We'll be careful." "You could die." "I won't." She said it with more confidence than she felt. "I'm choosing this. Choosing us. Choosing our family." His hand found her stomach. A baby. Our impossible baby. 7 months more predicted. Hybrid gestation accelerated by vampire blood and necromantic magic. Caspian barely left her side. Overprotective. Terrified. Hopeful. The pregnancy flew by. Maya's body changed rapidly. The baby grew strong. Month 14. 7 months after conception, Maya went into labor. It was agony. Worse than transformation. Her body tearing apart from inside. But then a baby's cry. "It's a boy," Mora's voice jubilant, "healthy and perfect." They placed him in Maya's arms. Silver white hair like Caspian's. Storm gray eyes like hers. "Hi, Lysander," Maya whispered. "I'm your mama." When Caspian held his son, flowers bloomed. Everywhere. Roses burst from floorboards. Vines climbed walls. The room filled with jasmine and honeysuckle scent. "He has magic," Maya breathed. "Already," Lysander cooed. More flowers bloomed, glowing faintly. "He's not just hybrid," Caspian said. "He's tribrid. Vampire necromancer and something else. Something new." Maya started crying, happy tears. "We did it. You did it." Caspian kissed her forehead. "You're incredible. We're everything, the 3 of us, our family." 5 years later. Maya stood on the tower balcony watching Lysander play in the gardens below. 5 years old, tall for his age, bright, curious, powerful. He ran through flowers that bloomed wherever his feet touched. 3 translucent figures ran with him, the spirits of Maya's sisters. Lily, Rose, Violet. Maya had found them a year after Lysander's birth. Trapped between worlds, unable to move on because of how they died. She'd offered them a choice peace or stay and help raise Lysander. They'd chosen to stay. Now they were his guardians, his playmates, his aunts in spirit form. He's getting stronger, Caspian said, joining her. Every day. Maya leaned into her husband. He's going to change the world. He already has. Look around. The castle grounds were filled with people, over 200 refugees, magic users, outcasts, those with nowhere else to go. They'd built a community, a sanctuary, a place where differences were celebrated. Do you ever think about her, Caspian asked. Vivian, sometimes wonder where she ended up. Does it matter? No, Maya realized it was true. She doesn't matter anymore. She never really did. She was just something to overcome. And you did, spectacularly. Maya looked at the castle, the gardens, the people, her family. You know what the best part is? Maya said. Tell me. I used to think I needed to prove I wasn't worthless, that I had to earn my value. She turned in his arms. But I don't. I was never worthless. I was just surrounded by people too blind to see what I was. And what were you? Exactly enough, exactly right, exactly myself. She kissed him. And that was always enough. Below, Lysander called for them to watch as he made an entire rosebush bloom at once. 3 ghost children clapped. Real adults cheered. The gardens filled with light and laughter and life. This was home. This was family. This was everything. Maya had been thrown away like garbage, deemed worthless, broken. But she'd taken that rejection and transformed it into purpose, into power, into proof that the people who diminish you are often the ones most afraid of what you'll become. And she'd become extraordinary, not despite being thrown away, because of it. Maya and Caspian descended the stairs hand in hand, joined their son in the garden. Let him lead them to whatever magic he'd discovered today. And as the sun set, painting the sky in shades of amber and rose, Maya felt something she'd never felt in the Winter's estate. Complete. She was a necromancer, a vampire, a mother, a wife, a queen. She was powerful and loved and valued. She was home, and her story, her impossible, beautiful story, it was just beginning. They called me worthless because I couldn't do what they could, because I didn't fit their narrow definition of valuable. But here's what I learned. The people who diminish you often do so because they fear what you'll become. They see potential they lack, strength they'll never possess. And instead of celebrating it, they try to destroy it. Vivian saw my gift before I did, saw what I could become, and it terrified her. So she tried to break me, starve me, erase me. She failed. Not because I'm special, but because I refused to accept her definition of my worth. I survived, I grew, I became. And now I stand in a castle full of people the world threw away. Refugees and outcasts and the so-called worthless. Together we've built something beautiful. Vivian once told me I was nothing, that my life had no value. She was wrong. I am a necromancer, voice of the dead, queen of lost souls. I am a vampire, immortal, powerful, unbreakable. I am a mother, raising a child who will change the world. I am a wife, loved by a man who sees all of me and calls it beautiful. I am Maya Thorne, and I am exactly enough. This castle, this family, this life, it's all built on one truth. You are not what they call you. You are what you become when you refuse to be diminished. And I became everything they said I couldn't be. Not despite them, because of them. So to anyone listening who's been called worthless, broken, nothing, you're not. You never were. You're just waiting to be seen by someone who knows how to look. And when that happens, when you finally see yourself clearly, you'll realize you were never the problem. They were just too small to hold your enormity. Rise, bloom, become. The world is waiting for what you'll do next. And so am I.